Welcome to the Creepy Metal Podcast.
Hey everybody!
Hello!
Hey, we're on this part of the segment where we are doing our interview, part 2, with Ed. Say hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Good, that'll
Hi,
work.
Ed!
So we left off talking about several things from our first interview with you. We had a bunch more questions. Stephanie, what do you, anything you would like to, we had talked about his influences, and we had talked about, your background growing up, in downtown LA and all that.
Right. It was one of those things where you either choose to go with your environment, whether it's a positive or a negative, or choose to go your own path. Now, that kind of sounds like a convoluted little enigma, but in reality, it's very, very honest. Because sometimes you're surrounded by drugs, gangs, the wrong kind of people that could lead you the wrong way. And you have to have, like in my case, you got to keep all your guard up. You got to keep your defenses ready.
Survival is a mode.
Well, survival is a mode, but survival is a tool.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're still someone inside. You're not a weapon. Okay, so when that happens, is you want to keep that part of yourself, that humanity, still there.
Yes.
And
I do.
And I want to keep my humanity intact.
Yeah.
That part that endears me to people, that part that opens people's doors for me. Because I could be a total asshole, pardon the statement, but I could be
Which
a total
most people are.
And you know what? People will read it and they'll go, you know what? I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that guy. I care. I care about the performers. I care about the people that are promoting the bands.
You also took care of a lot of kids, making a huge, huge impact. And that's one thing I always think of you is like, wow, what you did for these kids, it saved their lives. It got them excited. It would never had that opportunity. And you are like an angel right on earth. You know what I mean? Which is hard to find. So you've done a lot for these kids. You've saved them. You really have.
I would like to think that they had it in them. You just needed to let them know.
But a lot of people, there's not someone there to guide them or give them any positive feedback. I think that is in itself that you even acknowledged them. Even if it's not your child, you acknowledged other children. You know what I'm saying? And that is hard because most times you don't mean to, but parents, we all just, about my kids, support them. But when you ventured off and just saw some light in some or saved them, they weren't your family. They were like your family, but that's because of what impact you did.
Right, and sometimes I walk a very thin line because I have to be aware I have a personal life. I have my own family. And sometimes that balance, it's where I teeter. I run the risk of neglecting my own family for the sake of a project, a band, or something like that. But then sometimes I gotta, weigh the pros versus the cons.
Yes.
And so far my hunches have been right about these bands, about this talent that I come across.
Right.
And so it makes it worthwhile, and especially when I guess I could say when they make it, and they don't forget you.
Correct. Isn't that incredible?
That feels so gratifying.
Yep.
And not that I'm looking for that high.
No, at
it's
all.
Just that.
It's just when it happens, you're almost like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I didn't even realize, right?
Right.
And it's more powerful, that feeling of wow.
Right.
We pat you on the back.
Yeah.
I was interested to find out and ask you, we kind of left off on that first interview talking about, just, I guess, some of the introduction into the people who help you, right? We talked briefly about your lady and your kids and some of that, but I wanted to know specifically, what has how has she been a good support to you? How, what's that interplay like? Because I know it can be hard. I know it can be hard when you're with a creative person and having that balance where, yeah, you still have to do your obligations and whatnot, but then you have that creative side, and sometimes, it can be difficult.
It's not as difficult as one would like to think, but like I said before, I tread a thin line, okay, and I have to go home to this lady, and I need to respect her because she watches over our home, our kids, and me. Because her concern, especially when I go everywhere, she is a worry about what happens to me.
So she texted like 4 times before we got on.
So just so you know, it's one of those things where I'm thankful I found her.
Oh yeah.
And I will walk heaven, hell, and earth just to make sure that she is fine with me. Because it's very difficult to find someone like that in your life.
Correct.
And she could have left me any time. And
she's not a self-centered person.
No, she's
not. You can tell that.
No, she sacrificed just as much as I have. We've gone through a lot together, and when you have that, it becomes a solid team.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing about her. And again, she is so concerned about everybody. Sometimes she doesn't look out for herself. But
herself last.
Yeah, and but that's her character. That's how she is. And sometimes she has to be my conscience. So like a Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Because like she'll see me up at like crazy hours. 10, 12, midnight. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And like we have like a speaker and in our kitchen, a camera kind of thing. And she's like, "It's time to go to bed." I'm like, wow.
It's only 3.
It's on my time, up, over bedtime. Let's go.
No, she gets concerned because she says that when I go to bed late, that I get cranky, and I'm like, it's not that. It's not that I get cranky. It's like something because I get obsessed with my projects.
Oh. So once you go, you don't stop.
It's like an OCD thing, and it's like I don't want to leave it hanging. I don't want to leave it in a cliffhanger. Yeah. For example,
I can relate.
For example, recently I went to a celebration of life for a person that stood out in the community. His name was George Contreras. He stood out in the rock and roll scene, obviously, and also in the skating, skateboard.
Okay,
scene.
Cool.
And he passed away of all things on April 1st.
Oh no. Okay,
so in June they did this celebration of life. And when I got there, I got very overwhelmed because I saw some parallels. Like I was telling this person, Gwen, who's from the band Bonnie Gray.
Yeah.
I see a lot of parallels between George, God rest his soul, and myself. Because like everybody was talking about him, his dedication to the bands, to the skating community.
Very inspiring.
And he's very inspiring. He also does one thing that I know, I love about the guy, is that, he never asked for anything. He was just there.
Yeah.
And he was dependable. And everybody who was anybody that went to the celebration of life, just gave so much praise. And then I, because I couldn't say much, I was just holding a camera and I go, I gotta do something for this guy. So I decided to compile a video of everything that happened that day and the performances by the bands that went out there to pay tribute to them. And it took me literally 2 months because I was doing other things, and then like little by little I kept trying to put stuff together.
Trying to get it together, yeah.
And oh my God, it was like a passion project for me.
Yeah.
Finally, I did it last week, and I was able to post it, and you should have seen the relief I felt it. Oh, I'm done.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Check mark. Check
know.
that right off.
But it was one
I
of those
know. I
things-
love that.
But it was one of those things that was worth it because of the person,
Right.
the subject of,
Right.
of,
That's
of
why
the
you
video.
didn't give up. That's why you just kept doing it.
I
I've
couldn't-
got to
I couldn't allow-
accomplish this one.
I couldn't allow myself
Yeah.
to stop. I couldn't allow myself to fail because I don't express myself. Even though
Yeah.
I ramble on and on and on, the way I express myself is through my projects.
Right.
You know, and this one
a
in
great
particular,
thing.
I just had to do everything I could.
Yeah.
You know,
did.
it's like you say, Ed, you embellish videos, you do this and that and everything. There's one of those moments where I had to take off the leash, if you will,
Yeah.
and just go out for the meat and just
Put it on.
and it was worthwhile. Everybody involved that have George still in their hearts.
Yeah.
You know, they told me, you know, that they appreciate what I've done, and I'm like, it's a relief. It feels good and fulfilling
Right.
because I wasn't
Right.
doing something for myself.
Correct.
It was too dedicated to this person, and I
Really.
just had to
Good
do it.
above and beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those
That's
things
a great thing.
that I'm gonna live on with my life and remember all the time.
Oh yeah.
I did this for this guy.
And also, he'll be remembered because of that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a great thing that you can keep them alive in their minds and their hearts, and it makes a huge, big impact on that.
Yeah,
So you have done that above and beyond.
I tried. I try what I
So
can.
it's-
You know.
Oh, no, I think
Yeah.
you do above and beyond, definitely, more than I think I do. So I think,
Never
with
sell
your
yourself
band,
short.
I know. I always just keep plugging though. One thing is, I have sayings in my place,
Mhm.
and one is always like the two things you gotta, really remember. And one is don't give up, and the second one is think of the first one. Never give up.
Yeah. Here's one you should add to it. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee had said, "Never say anything negative about yourself because
sweet.
because
And I think I do that a lot. Boys say, "Oh, I gotta get changed."
because
do
your
that."
body won't know the difference and your mind won't know the difference.
All right.
And it'll make it manifest. So
Yeah.
always say something positive
Sweet.
about yourself. Because
Okay.
every morning when you're getting ready to, putting on your makeup, doing your hair, or whatever, you look in the mirror and say, "Hey, beautiful.
Yep.
We're gonna
Yeah.
conquer the world today. We're gonna have an
The
amazing day."
positiveness. Yes,
You-
it's so empowering.
And tell yourself, "Hey, I'm gonna be a positive influence in someone else's life. At least one person. I'm gonna be a
Yep.
positive influence on at least one person."
And that helps so much.
Yeah.
It helps, really.
It does.
So I think what is about the band that's getting you feeling, are you wanting to do music? Are you wanting to just stay and, do the same ones? What do you have in mind with the band?
Like for example, I've told it so many times. Whatever I did with my old band, that I would say that ship has sailed. Because the people involved, like I said, we lost one of the members, and the other person, I say he sold his soul. It's a very negative thing to say, by the way. But in contrast to what we used to do versus what he had to do for himself as
Right.
as kind of breaking apart from the band.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those difficult situations where I myself, started questioning myself.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, why? Like I said before, why do I
Yeah.
do this? Why do I even bother?
Oh.
But like I said before, I was young. We were young. We didn't know exactly how to get a representation. For our work, our whatever we write,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it got usurped. It got
Right.
taken from us, and we couldn't say jack shit about it.
Oh.
So
So you felt like you were just kind of like a squirrel going on the wheel,
Mhm.
just wheeling around, and
Yeah.
it's going to the same place. You're not going anywhere else.
exactly. So what I did was, there's a saying. It goes, "Onward, ever onward. Don't take a step back, not even for impulse." So
That's interesting.
so thinking with that mentality,
Perspective,
I moved on. I fell back on my plan B, which was broadcasting. So I
Okay.
went to I was in college. I started taking broadcasting. I was focusing again on doing cinema and all that, all that multimedia
Yeah,
art.
getting into
And around 2001, give or take, I had like one of my first seizures with epilepsy.
okay.
They weren't sure at the time,
Yes.
and so they had it. Yeah. So I had to step out. Step out of going to a campus, going to a class, not wanting to make a scene.
Correct.
It was hard me like in the private sector trying to just get a regular job and all that stuff. So again, going back to that question, hey, why the hell am I doing all this? Why do I want to?
Yeah.
And I came across a friend that said, hey, what are you gonna do about your projects? And I was like, I don't know yourself.
Right, because you were
Just-
still not you weren't finding yourself, but you weren't as confident as you were
Right,
before.
I wasn't. I
Yes,
felt
it
so-
does take it away.
So what I started doing is I'm gonna try. And my friend said, don't try, just do it. And I go, yeah, Yoda, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So he goes, no, just put something together, start doing it. So I went to this place in Hollywood. It's off of Hobart and Sunset. I don't know. I don't think it's there no more. But it was a place called ARN, American
Okay.
Radio Network.
Oh, wow.
So it was like it was a building with a bunch of booths, where there were sound booths. Okay?
Yeah.
And you could record your own show.
Nice.
So I started doing that.
That's
At the
cool.
time, we weren't Ravens Bay Media. It was just Ravens Bay Productions, my first iteration of what I did. And my show, it wasn't controlling transmission.
Okay.
It was called Grim Reaper Radio.
Oh,
So-
we got the dark side.
So I started like approaching bands. They were letting me play their music. They were willing to take a chance with me,
Great.
and that
That's
was
wonderful, right?
very helpful.
Yeah,
And
exciting.
it is.
Yeah.
But now I'm going through all these bands, trying to make a name for myself. But I'm still not satisfied.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you looking into it deeply? Something is deeply thought of.
I thought something was missing because I wasn't as experienced as I am now.
Okay.
I didn't have the skill set to fall back on like I do now. So I had to, like I mentioned, I had to be an autodidact. I had to teach myself, reteach myself everything I knew.
Okay.
And I would get a book from here, see a video from there,
Yeah.
start putting stuff together. And it became one of those things where off and on I was trying to better myself.
Okay.
Because my only competition is myself, and if I could be better than who I was 5 or
Yeah.
years ago, that's progress.
Right.
And that's what I try to do now. And I just, going back to your original question, if I wanted to be in a band, I'd love to. But at the moment, I want to focus on other bands, other talent. They need somebody who's had my experience dealing with record companies.
Yeah.
And when I could sniff out a fox in a hen house, I go, hey guys, that is a trap.
Oh wow,
You
that's
know?
really incredible. Yeah.
And like,
that's very
and
nice
like,
to find.
because scouts have always been there. All these clubs and like the whiskey and all that kind
Oh
of stuff like
yeah,
that.
big time. That
So
pay and play.
Mhm.
Oh,
And,
that I don't really like.
Nope.
So-
nope.
So I would like tell the bands, dude, if you feel it in your gut, don't do it.
Yeah.
And at the time, YouTube was still starting, and
Oh, was it?
and Napster was like the only way, like
Oh
bands,
yeah, Napster.
when the bands were putting their music out there. So it was one
Yeah.
of those difficult moments where you cross the line between copyright or not, and how much of it was still your music after the fact.
And if you're making money out of it, someone else might be. Yeah,
Mhm.
that always happens. They
Yeah,
can take that
so-
money and run.
So I had to wait And worst of it all is like around 2010, 2011, I relapsed. You know, I got even more intense with my epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
You know, so then that knocked me
It
out.
started triggering more.
Yeah, so like all the way to 2017. You know, I tried working in certain places, but at the same time, it was becoming a liability.
Yep.
And again, I was almost gonna fall back into that. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Doesn't even freaking matter. And I, and that's when I came across Nathan, Jennifer, my buddy Stig up in Seattle, who has Cinch Radio.
Yeah.
And had I not had them in my life, had I not had them cheerlead me from a distance, they weren't even close yet. They were from a distance going, hey, dude, get your fucking ass up and do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all need
You know?
that.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. I'll start doing stuff. I'm gonna start talking to bands again. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna
Definitely get back.
I'm gonna be like this. If I'm gonna climb up a mountain, I'm gonna turn around and pull these people that help me up. And when they're up there, they're gonna turn around and do the same because it's a team
Great
effort.
thing, yeah.
You know, and that's how I feel.
alone.
That's how I feel about these bands. You know, like, hey, I gotta be there for you. It's like I said, that analogy I gave you that in our last interview that I'm two personalities.
Yeah.
I started out as Chaz, that Brendan Fraser character, you know, in his band and all that stuff. But as I got older, I kind of identified with Ian the Shark, who was a DJ. Later becomes their manager, but at the same time, when he's a DJ, he was a little jaded. You know, he was jaded about the industry. He was jaded about the record companies. He couldn't, you know, handle any new talent. You know, but something endeared him to the Lone Rangers, which is the band, the band that Brendan Fraser is playing in. Which, by the way, you have Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler in that group.
Yeah.
The drummer.
Right.
Oh my God. That's
Right.
awesome.
So you know, that mentality also fed me another theory.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler. Okay,
cool.
have you ever seen every movie Adam Sandler makes?
Yeah.
He always has room for Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and if you ever see every movie he makes,
Yeah.
all his support team is in that movie.
I didn't know. That's cool. That's really
Watch,
cool.
just for homework. Just go
'Cause
watch every
I
single
love
movie.
him.
Yeah.
Even the animated one.
Yeah.
Even
Mr. Deeds and Big Daddy and
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I always thought he was funny.
so you know, I'm in good company there.
Yeah.
You know, and people ask you, like I said before, if people ask, are you rich yet? And I go, no, not yet. But if I am, you won't see me here.
Yeah.
But
There
that's
you
not
go.
true.
That's true.
But that's not true because
You
I
are
know-
such a good person, social. You can handle it.
I try to be a good person.
Yeah.
I don't like to identify as being a good person because, to be honest, no one for sure is. And if there is one, like if you're religious, maybe Jesus, maybe Muhammad, maybe Gandhi, or those people were good. You know, I'm just trying to, as you put it, survive,
Yeah.
but thrive.
Yeah.
Because people like hang on to surviving.
Oh,
But
yeah.
once you're in that boat,
yeah, you
you're in
can't
that
get
boat.
out.
You're
I
on the
know.
lifeboat.
I know.
And
That's
you're just
me.
floating there.
That's me.
My thing is, once
Like,
that
I gotta
lifeboat,
get out, I gotta get out. And I try swimming each side. I jump out of that boat and come back in and go, yeah, that didn't work.
no, but you hold on to that boat.
I keep
because
trying, though. I never
Because once
give
you
up.
reach shore, the idea is get off
Yes.
that boat.
Yes.
Because you made it to
Yes.
land.
Gotta go.
Now thrive.
Been
Thrive.
there, done that. You know, I always go like, okay, it's over. Let's move, and change is good.
Right.
And a lot of people can't change. I notice that whether it's moving or personality or doing something different, job-wise, it's a real tough thing. People are very hard. They want to keep it the same.
Right.
Where I'm always like, what am I missing? I gotta find out what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm always like, I gotta do more. I want to do this. I want to help people. I want to go there. I want to make this happen. You know. So that's why you never should be closed-minded. You never know, right? Because look who you met. Look who has helped you.
Right.
But you've helped others. So it's like a win-win situation.
It's because you gotta pay it forward. You can't keep it. You cannot keep it. I was actually telling Will this about Bruce Springsteen. That like even at his age now, when he goes on stage, he has this thing where he absorbs energy from the crowd.
Yeah.
But the moment he's done performing, he gets off that stage and he does this thing where he has to return the energy to them because it's not his to keep. Just like when I do with all these bands, this talent, these young people, it is not for me.
Right.
I do it for them. If I get something out of it, and more power to them.
Yeah.
For the most part, I just remember me on the way out. And because not just me, but remember everybody you've encountered on the way up, because these are the same people that will see you on the way down.
Yes. Be appreciative of it.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
So
I got one last question for you because we're almost out of time.
Go for it.
Ties into our creepy side, the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
You like George Norrie.
Mm-hmm.
We like the same kind of creepy stuff.
George Norrie.
Tell me two things.
Tell me about George
Tell me two
Norrie.
weird things that have happened to you.
Let me see.
Two, not one, two, because I know something's happened.
All right.
You don't just happen upon that by accident.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Well, it happened to a group of us, and we kind of like try to kind of play it off.
Uh-huh.
But like in high school, we used to break into our auditorium. If we had a talent show and stuff, like everybody would like convene to the auditorium of our high school. And this particular high school, which is one of the biggest in LA, has a legend about a female ghost named Arabella.
Now, was she a teacher?
No, a student.
Oh.
Because this high school, when in its founding, it used to be an all-girls school.
Oh.
And they say that allegedly she was murdered by the groundskeeper there.
Oh, that's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where the original building of the school was up on Crown Hill, that's what they call it over there. It's now the west wing of the high school.
Okay.
And then where the west wing ends is the auditorium.
Ah.
So me and a couple of friends were working with the rigs to the stage. So seeing if the curtains were working, the lighting was still operational and stuff. Because again, we had nobody there who's in charge of that stuff. We were trying to work on our own.
No groundskeeper.
Right. So we go up. By the way, that thing about the school, about being all girls school, that's like around 150 years old, 150 give or take. But there's the stage, and there's some step ladders, and you gotta go upwards to the rafters. And up there, we're trying to check the lighting and all that stuff. There's like very thin rungs of wood between each one, and we're like walking parallel. Me and one of my friends, we see this girl crying in the corner. White, like nightgown. She's crouched down, face down, and she's crying. Long black hair.
Really?
If I was gonna say like now I'd go, oh my God, it's a girl from The Ring. But at the time, I've never seen that movie. We just see this girl in a white nightgown.
Yeah.
Is sitting right there. And then we're like, hey, are you okay? How'd you get up here?
Yeah.
And like, all she says was, oh, he's here. And then, gone.
Wow.
What,
That's
disappeared?
Gone. And I'm like me and my friend, we both slide down our ladders and go tell.
Holy moly.
Hey guys.
I would have been like, did we smoke a doom or something? Like, what the hell? Somebody laced my drink.
I've had some stuff happen like that too. Hey, our time is almost up here. I just want to say thank you again for doing this part 2 with us. Is there anything that you got coming up that you want to promote? I know you got Controlling Transmission. That's going to be
Controlling Transmission is coming up this Thursday.
All right.
So this Thursday, the end of August.
So it's been a long wait.
Oh, really?
And this is on stenchradio.com.
Stenchradio.com. Look at Raven Spade Media's social media, because we're gonna be able to post the exact time.
So that'll be on Raven Spade Media, which is also on YouTube, right?
YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
All right,
So
you gotta find it somehow. All right.
Got it, yeah. So that concludes our thing. So thank you so
All
much
right,
for
thank
coming.
you.
Thank you for having me, really.
Beautiful. Wow,
Yeah.
that was
It's great to see you guys
Got
outside
me
of a
feeling
phone.
positive too. Thank
Right.
you. That's awesome. So
Okay,
good.
we'll see
Thank
you guys.
you.